Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. Tonight, we're not going to waste a second of your time. I told you last night with this interview with Congressman Massa, he was a waste of time because he didn't bring anything new to the table. He lied to me before he came on the air. That's not all bad news because at least now, after doing an hour with him, everybody in America knows for sure he's not worth paying attention to. We know he's not serious about the corruption charges or at least about doing anything about it. So we can move on. We must move on. I know the rest of the media will focus on the tickle fights and the scandals, but not on this program. Tonight, I'm going to show you why it is critical that we don't waste any time mired in political games. Our country is at stake. There are more important and disturbing things than tickle fights going on right underneath our nose. The reason I got so frustrated last night, and I haven't seen the show myself, but everybody tells me you could have seen it on my face, is because our house is on fire. Our country is on fire. It's an inferno. And anybody who doesn't know it isn't watching. We need some firefighters. And I know you are standing ready to fight a fire. This guy, I talked to him Monday on the telephone, and he told me all kinds of stories. And that he just wanted to make a difference. Really? Instead, last night we got involved in tickle fights. I mean, how many times have we gone out fishing with your 50-year-old friends and then got into a tickle fight? And then he gave us valuable advice like, get out and vote. Man, how do people sleep at night? Tonight, I'm going to show you and tell you a story of a government that is staging a full-fledged control assault on our country. As much as I wish this weren't true, every day that goes by, the evidence mounts up. Tonight, I'm going to show you 3 things that I told you a year ago, and they're all happening now. I don't want to be right on this, but the facts bear it out. We are the ones left to fight it. Apparently, there are too many tickle fights going on inside the Beltway. I want to show you now a map of how much land is owned in America by our government. This is a federal government. They own nearly 650 million acres of land, almost 30% of the land area in the United States. I saw this map this morning on Fox and Friends, and I knew it was bad, but look at this. And look how it's distributed. You know, what's really weird is before the progressive era, this was not part of really America. The West, it was still being conquered. It was still being settled. And then the progressives came in. It is overwhelming in the West. Nevada is almost 90% owned by the federal government. Alaska is nearly 3/4 federally owned. Compare that to the East. Everything's in single digits. Texas is 2% federally owned land. 2. You know why? You know why they're not rushing in to protect the land from the Texans? Because the Texans will say, get off my land. In Connecticut and New Jersey, you know why they're not protecting all that land? Because it's a rat hole. Let me show you this. Look at this. Remember this. Now let me show you our natural resources over here. These are our natural resources compared to the federal land. Look at where the resources are. Oh my gosh, what an odd coincidence here. It seems like the land we're protecting is the same land where most of the oil and natural resource rich land. Let me show you another map. Ready for this one? This is shale oil. Show me the shale oil. Here's the shale oil. It's found all around the world. Largest deposits by far. Colorado, Utah, Wyoming. Compare again with me. Colorado, Utah, Wyoming. Last year, the government went after 9 million acres in the West in the name of saving the wild horses and stopping any activities that would destroy the area's special character. Right. What would happen if we tapped these areas for our natural resources? Who are we saving this for? Our children, right? Our grandchildren. Our children and our grandchildren aren't going to have anything left. We could be closer to energy independence. Here's an idea. You want to pay off the debt? This is Fort Knox. The house is on fire. Why wouldn't we drill there instead of crossing our fingers and hoping that somebody's going to design a new magic fairy dust car? I'm not even saying, you don't even have to go for the oil. How about the natural gas? Mark my words. Our great-great-grandchildren will read about us. We are going to go down in world history as a suicidal nation. When we lose everything, environmentalists, let me ask you this. Show me Alaska. Can you bring up Alaska or show me the original chart here? Do you really think that when our country goes under, you don't think the Russians are going to climb over the pole to claim a land they already says is theirs? Who's better? Is Vladimir Putin better at protecting Alaska or the United States of America? How about China? China. When we go bankrupt, who's going to protect this land? China or us? This is a suicide mission that we are on. Citizens of America must stop hoping for change. I've seen the change. We must pray and demand change from this hopeful change because this is unsustainable. Here's the latest land grab, and we only know of it because of this. Let me show it to you. It's a memo. It was leaked by leaked from the Obama administration. It's now pursuing, the Obama administration, 13 million acres through 11 states in the West, all in the name of national monuments. Oh, maybe we could get a national monument of Chairman Mao. How about one of Stalin? He was good at controlling the lands, huh? National monuments? How many more monuments do we need? I don't need any more monuments. I need a country left. They're doing this without telling anybody about it. It's executive order. They don't care about what you think. They know best. Here's another one. Do you remember this show? I used to love this show. Andy Griffith's show. Seemingly when life made somewhat of sense. And I know life was never really like this all over the country. We're a country that's always had our problems. But a dad and his son going out to fish. Well, enjoy that while you can, because it looks like special interests once again are trumping common sense and the voice of the people. A new report out today says it's a move to appease the environmental groups. And just like before, without your consent, done in darkness by executive order. I told you a year ago this would happen. I'm not some prophet by any stretch of the imaginations. The New York Times said this man would do this. The report claims that Obama will no longer listen to the public as he tries to prohibit U.S. citizens from fishing on some of the nation's oceans, coastal areas, and Great Lakes, even some inland waters. No more fishing. Really? Yeah, apparently some environmentalists want to save the fish. Forget about the frickin' fish. People are losing their rights. Who's more important, the fish or you? Do you remember the song? I was talking about this in a meeting today, and one of the producers jokingly said, "This land is made for you and me." Remember that? This land is your land. This land is my land. And it all just clicked in my head. I said, look up the dates that this stupid song was written. We did. We did. You know, I've heard people say this before, and I never really paid attention to it. Listen to this. You know, this land is your land, this land is my land. Remember how happy that is? Let me show you the last couple of verses. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on the sign it said, "No trespassing." Somebody owns that land. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. That's a double negative, so it must have said something, but I digress. That sign, that side was made for you and me. So in other words, there are no property rights. It's wrong to say no trespassing. Last stanza. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people. By the relief office, I seen my people. As they stood there hungry, I stood there asking, is this land still made for you and me? Originally written, what year? 1940. Gee, what was happening in America in 1940?